Hey guys, I'm Carly,
And I'm Ilana.
and welcome back to Life in Progress.
That was different.
Was it?
Yeah.
What do I usually say?
Hey guys, it's Carly and
Oh,
Ilana.
what did I say?
I'm Carly and I said I'm Ilana and it just felt off.
Hey guys, it's Carly,
And Ilana.
and welcome to Life in
So
Progress.
much more natural.
All right. We are still recording at the AC Hotel in Fort Lauderdale.
We live here now.
We live here. This is our home. It is our home.
We
We
moved
have
in.
really made our room is a mess.
It's a disaster.
I
A
don't-
tornado went through here.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but there has never been a hotel that I have gone to that I haven't like blew up the room.
Me either, but I will say I feel embarrassed about it. So when I know that like I'm leaving for the day and they're gonna come, like housekeeping is gonna come clean it, I try and organize. I try and put my stuff away and not be a total shit show just because it's embarrassing and I feel weird about it. Like why do they have to pick up after me, you know?
Yeah, I just get in trouble by my fiance, but that's about it.
Yeah.
We'll walk in and he'll be like, "Can you please just not this time?" And I'll be like, "Yeah."
Do you put your clothes away when you go to a hotel?
No, it's literally all over my suitcase, and
Always?
always.
Even if you're like somewhere for a week?
The only place I've done it is when we went to Costa Rica, and I was like, I need to know where my outfits are and like what I'm gonna wear, so I actually hung them up. But like
Proud.
other than that, no. If I'm going for like 4 days, no.
If I'm anywhere longer than like 2 days,
You do? You're one of those people.
yeah.
Oh no, it's saying on the floor.
No, the second I walk into the hotel room, I'm opening my suitcase, I'm putting things away.
Weird. Yeah, we're so not the same on that one.
No.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, anyway, so yeah, we are still here. We are staring at the beautiful ocean. I wish you guys could see it. Maybe we'll
It's
like
really pretty.
turn the phone at some point. But
No,
then,
that sounds too complicated.
Yeah, then
It took 10 minutes to get the phone set up in a place where it was straight and like
all right.
just
Not
correct.
moving the phone then. Fine. But we are having a beautiful view right now. It's a lovely day in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
A lovely day to talk about what's in progress.
What's in progress? So for me, I think because with everything going on and not really posting on social media, and I kind of had to push all of my partnerships back because I didn't feel comfortable promoting something while everything is going on right now. And although that it is my job to do that and that's how I make an income, I just felt icky. So I pushed all of, my main partnerships that I had for October basically to November, which kind of pushed everything else and kind of halted getting new partnerships and making money, and which is a little stressful. So I'm in progress right now, just trying to find more ways to make an income than just posting a brand deal, which I feel like I used to be really good at. And then for a while, I relied on the brand deals for like the past 5 months.
Yeah.
So now I'm just gonna go back into maybe creating some UGC content, and yeah.
I feel like all year we've been like, okay, how can we make income in other ways?
Yeah.
And we've tried to do it. And we've been on to things. We're just not good business people.
Yeah,
We're creatives.
that's the problem. We're not great business people. And
We're like, oh no, we'll just keep working. Like you don't have to pay us.
yeah, don't worry. We'll
We
just
will
keep
provide
going.
everything to everyone for free always.
Yep,
Yeah,
basically.
but
All right,
well-
well, working on that. If anyone has any other good suggestions on
If you
that
want
one,
to pay us for anything,
let me know.
Let us know.
Let me know.
Feet pics, I'm down.
Yep.
Never tried it before, but
I'm really
who
down.
am I to say no? Yeah.
No, I'm actually down.
Don't knock it till you try it. Why not?
Yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What's
If
in
anyone
progress?
wants to see our feet, we will remove the socks.
What's in progress for you?
I really, speaking of clothes everywhere, I need to completely redo my closets, figure out organization. And guys, I get so frustrated. Not frustrated. I'm just annoyed at Carly because she has so much storage space in her apartment, so many closets on closets, and they're huge closets.
And I complain every
and
day.
I have one that I share with Jake, and it's it's not a walk-in closet. You have to slide the door one direction to be able to see half the closet, and then slide it in the other direction, and then half the closet's behind a wall, and you can't actually see what you have. You just have to reach in and close your eyes and hope for the best. And it's really complicated, and I keep getting more things, and I need to offload some things. I need to refigure out the storage situation. It's just bad. It's really tough.
I mean, I feel bad complaining because I know I have so much more space than you, yet I can't move in it. There's just so much stuff,
Yeah.
and I need to get rid of stuff.
So I need to figure out well, what to do. I need to like clean out my closet. I need to reorganize. I need to donate a lot of stuff. So if anyone has any places that they suggest I donate to, there's a Goodwill 4 blocks from my apartment, but I wish there was like a Big Brother Big Sister clothing drop or like some other thing, because like Goodwill, it's like they sell the clothes. I know the money, they create jobs and the money gets donated to a good purpose, but I feel like I'd rather just have clothes just go to somebody who needs them, you know?
Yeah.
So I've been struggling with like how to figure that
someone
out.
let her know where to bring her clothing.
Yeah.
Or where to send them.
A lot of it still has tags on.
Yeah.
So,
Wait, I need to pause for a second because I just looked at my phone and laughed, and I need to explain why.
please explain. What did Dad Sal text you?
Oh my God. So I was nervous that my dad texted me something that was important. So I opened it, not to be rude while Ilana was talking, but my dad does this thing where every time he puts on an outfit, he needs to make sure that it matches. So he sends me an outfit. So please, Ilana, this is what he sends me.
Where is he going?
Just to play golf, probably, or to lunch, or I don't even know where. But he goes, question mark, question mark. Well, LOL. And I go, great. He goes, thanks, honey, love you. I guess I can wear different shades of blue as long as they're not the same color, right? Question mark.
Oh my God. What do we think? Can he?
Yes.
But they can't be too close of the same color, but different.
I'm going to say.
They have to be like drastically different enough. This is borderline, in my opinion.
It's borderline. It's definitely borderline.
But as we previously spoke about this morning, we have no sense of style whatsoever.
Ilana and I realized that we
know nothing.
We know nothing about
We're the least
fashion.
fashionable people ever.
Yeah.
I don't know why people like look to us for guidance on what to buy.
Like, I'm definitely not fashionable. I'm always asking people like, what do I wear? What do I buy? Because I just don't know. And that's usually what I'll share.
Yeah.
But like, no.
And then when I buy things that are not comfortable, I don't wear them.
Exactly.
I only want like, this is why. I don't think there's been a single episode where we haven't been in like leggings and a sweatshirt or like
no. We don't do that.
No.
You won't catch me dead in jeans and like a tank. I don't know. No. Leggings and sweatshirts forever.
Forever and never. Okay.
Okay.
We have a fun episode today.
Yes, we do. We have a very fun episode today. We've been talking about doing this one for a bit because I feel like the amount of dating questions we get about this topic is just, it's all the time.
Yeah.
So I feel like we need to just sit down and go through them. There are so many quote unquote dating rules that people seem to feel like they need to follow. And there's a million influencers and dating coaches and just websites and resources and the olden rules and the olden days, just so many things that I and Ilana don't agree with.
At all.
And
in any way whatsoever.
We're going to go through them today and kind of just go. Ilana and I looked up like most common, like old-fashioned dating rules, and we're going to go through those first and see what we agree with now in the world and what me and her either followed or didn't follow, and then also talk about other dating rules that dating coaches talk about and influencers talk about. And yeah, I think this is going to be a fun one.
Yeah, and I think it's important to have this conversation. I want to encourage everyone as you're listening to think about the dating rules that you do follow that you maybe picked up from an influencer or an article you read or a dating coach you follow, and think like, do these actually match me?
Yeah.
And do these feel right when I'm following them, or am I just doing them because this person that I like says that this is how I should date? Because I think it's really, really important to figure out what works for you. And I don't care if you disagree with what Carly and I think. Like, you're different than we are. Me and Carly are different. Sometimes we're even gonna disagree. But I think that's the whole thing about rules, is like, there's no one set of rules for everybody, and you have to figure out what works for you.
Yeah, I don't understand why there's this notion of this is what you should follow to like win someone over. Like, why do people out there say it's either this way or the highway, or if you don't do this, you're not gonna get married? Like, every situation is so different. How are you gonna you're gonna follow every rule based on, you know, someone's opinion? And
guess what? If you have been and you're still single, maybe it's not working for you and you need to rewrite your own rules.
And if you have been and you're not single, great. That's amazing. But again, not every rule goes to like every single person, you know?
And we can both agree, and we'll get into this later too, like if we followed the dating rules, we would not be engaged to Jason and Jake.
No, I'm staring at the list that we have right now, and I'm just like looking at them quickly. And if I followed more than half of these rules, I would probably not be engaged to my fiance right now, which is crazy. So
let's do it.
Let's do it. You can go ahead and start, or just
I want to click it because I feel like there are some funny descriptions for some of them. Okay, so number 1, men should make the first move.
No.
They can,
They can,
but
sure.
so can you.
But that should not be a rule.
Yeah.
I don't believe in that. And I think a lot of people do. And there's this whole thing of if they want to, they will. And I do agree with that. But I also think if you want to, you can.
Yeah. And you should.
And you should. Why not? And then, by the way, after we go through these, we will then talk about what Ilana and I didn't do.
Correct. Okay, number 2. Men should always pay for the date.
So this one I agree with for, the first how many dates before you're in whether it's a relationship or whatnot. I do think it's a very nice gesture. And this is something that if I went on a first date with someone and they didn't pay and I thought the date was going so well, I would be so turned off from it. So to me, I actually do agree with that one until, you're going on a bunch of dates, and I don't think a man has to pay for every single date you go on. Also, always offer. Do not go into a date just expecting a man to pay. I think that is even a bigger turnoff. So
what's interesting to me is I don't think that if the guy offered to pay and I was like, oh no, let me at least split it, and he said yes, I wouldn't be turned off. I would just assume, oh, he didn't have a good time and doesn't want to see me again. And then I would get in my head about it. But I wouldn't be like, oh, fuck him, he didn't pay for the date. Would I appreciate it? Of course. Do I expect it? I honestly don't.
Oh, I'd be turned off. Especially first couple dates. I would. That's just me though.
At what point did you start paying for things or
with
some
Jason?
things? Yeah.
I think when we kind of knew it was, we've gone on 5 or 6 dates and offer every time. And, I'd finally be like, no, I'm getting this, really. But I think the first 3 dates, 4 dates, it's nice that he offered and
totally.
And maybe I'll get dessert, or maybe we go out to ice cream and I'll get dessert. Or if we go to another bar, hey, this round's on me. But I just feel the act of a guy paying is nice. And for me, that is something I look for.
I agree with that. If there's ice cream or another set of drinks or something, I always liked to do that because I also felt it put pressure on me. Oh, well, they're paying for everything. They're expecting something in return. And so sometimes even on a second date, I would say if we were at a bar first before getting dinner, I would be like, okay, I'm buying these because I know you're not going to let me pay for dinner.
Yeah.
And they really appreciated that. And I felt good about that.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay. Your date should pick you up at your house. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever had someone pick me up, actually.
That also sounds really unsafe.
Yeah.
You don't know this person yet.
You can get there yourself.
You don't know what their intentions are. Do you want to give them your address up front? Probably not.
No, we're both out on that one.
No. I wonder what it would be like, though, if we didn't live in places where people Uber and stuff. If we were going to a date and it was however many years ago, and we lived in suburbs, and we didn't want to drive ourselves, or we were planning to, I feel it could be different under different circumstances. I guess it would be a really polite, chivalrous thing for the guy to offer to come pick you up.
Yeah.
But to me, it's uncomfortable given my dating experiences.
Yeah. I just said I never had that happen, but there was one time in LA where someone did come pick me up. And it was, it was very nice, but I was weirded out by do I give this person my address? I don't know them. Am I going to want to sit in a car with them on the way to the restaurant and make small talk? I thought that was so awkward.
Yeah.
So yeah, not a fan of it.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to read the next ones?
Okay. Number 4, women should never reach out first. I mean, we all know how we feel about this one.
Wrong.
Sorry. Anybody can reach out to anybody. My relationship may not exist if I didn't make a real move there. I always shoot my shot. The amount of DMs I used to send, I was a big DMer, sliding in, loved sliding into DMs. I don't know. I thought it was fun. Why not?
You have nothing to lose.
You have nothing to lose. If they're going to judge you for reaching out first,
then they're not your person.
Yeah.
Bye.
Then move on.
Yeah. You'd rather know that information now.
I think it's so weird. There's so many people that say, oh, you should never reach, or a woman should never reach out. Wait for the man to text you. It's why?
It's 2023.
Yeah.
Equality.
Why? Yeah. Why do I have to wait?
If I have something to say, I'm going to say it. It really, the number of situations I see where, and I get it from both sides, where she wants to text him but is afraid to be too aggressive, and he wants to text her but he's texted first every time and is waiting for her to come, and well, if she likes me, like, I should hear from her. Why do I have to do it every time? And then nobody texts the other one.
Yeah.
Then it doesn't go anywhere, and there's a misconnection that could have been a partnership.
Yeah, and why are people so honed in on the fact of like, oh, well, if you reach out, he's going to be turned off? Like, I'm sorry. If someone's turned off by me sending a text, checking in, or asking for a date, see
Bye.
ya.
Bye.
Bye. Have fun.
Bye. This is funny. You should wait 3 days before contacting the date. I can't believe this was a rule.
I can't believe this is a rule, but I also remembered this
The 3-day rule, yeah.
in that movie.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes. And they talked about it in Friends a lot too.
Yeah.
And it's so funny, like, seeing people sit by their phone hoping it would ring.
Yep.
And what happens? Okay, you wait 3 days before contacting them, even if it's the guy waiting 3 days before calling after the date. And what happens if the other person's not home?
Yeah.
And then they get the voicemail, and then they have to then call back, but you're not home. Like, and then you just play phone tag, and it could be like a week or two before you get each other.
Yeah, but even now, I remember when I was first dating in New York City, I went out with some guy and I hadn't heard from him in 2 days. But in my head, because I knew of these rules, I was like, oh, well, he's waiting 3 days to text me. Well, he just never did. So it's so stupid.
He was not waiting 3 days
He was not
to text
waiting
Carly.
3 days. So these rules are dumb.
Next.
All right. Don't have sex until the third date. I also hate this rule.
Yeah.
Do what you want to do. If you are feeling it, have sex with them. My best friend who had sex on the first date, they were drunk and out and had sex. And you know what? I remember her waking up the next day being like, ugh, like, kind of wish I didn't do that because I do really like him and like I think he's great. And I'm like, who cares?
Yeah.
And they're engaged now to be married. So if you're feeling it, do it.
Yeah, I think this rule and this concept just puts more of a stigma on it and makes people feel shame around their actions. And it's less about the actual act of having sex with somebody on the first date or the second date, whatever, versus feeling judged or judging yourself and thinking, oh, well, now they must be judging me. So now, like, I'm not going to talk to them because they're probably thinking certain things about me. It's almost like, again, it makes you get in your head more.
Yeah.
And that's what ends up ruining the connection, not the fact that you had sex with somebody.
Like, do whatever feels right for you, not because someone says.
Don't not do it because you're trying to follow a rule that someone made up.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Always give someone a chance, even if you aren't interested. I like this one.
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye. Cool. Why?
I guess it depends, but for me, when I was dating, I just knew right away. And I feel like so many people kept telling me, like, just give it a chance, like, go on more dates, like, you know.
Well, but you did give it a chance and you decided you weren't interested.
No. I mean,
if you went on a date with somebody and you decided you're not interested, you don't have to give them another chance, but you gave them a chance.
But this is saying,
well, but how many chances can you give somebody? It's like eventually you give it a chance and you decide no.
Well, if you're talking about always give it a chance, even if you aren't interested, like before the first date, sure, be open-minded. And if you don't think you're going to be interested, I think, yeah, still be open-minded. And I believe that. But after a first date, if you don't feel like you're interested, I don't know why, like, it depends on the situation, but don't waste your time. Don't waste their time if you're really not interested just because you want to give someone a chance.
I like the idea of if you're not sure, like if it's not a hard no, then then go on the second date. But if you know, like, you're dreading seeing this person again, you have no idea what you'd possibly talk to them about, you're not looking forward to it, then don't give it another chance. But if you're like, yeah, it was fine, sure, you never know. People open up more on the second date as they get more comfortable and loosen up. I think that is a situation where, like, if you're unsure, then try until it's a no.
Yeah, I think it depends how uninterested you are.
Yeah.
Like, I agree. I agree in that situation.
Yeah, my nose is so itchy. I don't know why.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just want to scratch it. I'm not picking my nose. I just want to scratch it.
Okay, you can scratch it. I'll do the next one.
Scratch.
Okay. Don't kiss on the first date.
What?
Why? that's literally how I know.
We're rule breakers.
Yeah.
Actually, me and Jake didn't kiss on our first date.
No, so you're not that big of a rule breaker.
No. But I'd been on many dates prior
Yeah.
with other people.
I just feel like that's how I like know or can like really feel attraction. I remember I fully made the move. Like fully made
Shocker.
the move. Yeah, shocker. And he was like so caught off guard. I was like, "Were you gonna kiss me if I didn't?" And he was like, "I mean, I was gonna see how like the rest of the date went, maybe at the end of it, but."
You kissed him before the date was over?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Like midway through.
Wow.
Yeah. I was kind of like, fuck
Ballsy.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like there is a lot of pressure on that kiss, though, to happen when there are a lot of times where that moment isn't organic.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think also when you're calling Ubers or trying to get
So
a cab or
awkward.
waiting for the check, like, there's just sometimes it's really difficult to orchestrate that moment. But at the end of the day, you do have to orchestrate it. Like, you have to make it happen because it's not always going to just present itself.
Yeah, mine didn't present
You made it happen. I didn't.
Yeah.
Neither did he.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there should be no rule of don't kiss or kiss on the first date. Just
No.
do whatever
you're
feels
feeling,
right, which is our
in the moment.
our
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
thing.
Okay. The man should do all the planning.
Interesting. So when I was dating, I did think it was a big turn on when the text was just
Here's the plan.
here's
Yeah.
7:30, we're going here, this is what we're doing. Like, I think that was cool. And when I was started to date Jason, it was during COVID, so we had to be really kind of out of the box, and it was a big turn on. He would like send me an article of this garden and was like, I think this looks really cool, like, how do you feel about going to this, on Saturday? We could do like a little picnic. Like, I loved that. But do I think they need to plan every single date? No.
Yeah. I agree. Like, it's nice when they take initiative, take charge, or come up with a creative date plan. I also like to be involved. I want someone to ask me, like, oh, like, what food do you like? Are there any places you've been wanting to go? And I'll make the res, or just involving me. Because I also think that having those conversations is a way to get to know what somebody's interests are and what type of dates are exciting to somebody. So I don't think the man needs to do all of the planning. And there were definitely some early on dates that I also helped plan.
Yeah, same.
But I think it's nice to take initiative, or to show it helps show, like, oh, like, this person really like does want to like plan a great night for me. I think it's more about that.
Yeah,
It's like
I
feeling
feel like
wanted.
if someone texted you, you're going on a first date, and they were just like, hey, like, what seems fun to you, or what, I think it's still fine. Like, go on the date. Like, don't write them off because they didn't text you with the entire plan. Although for me, that is a turn on. Like, that's a green flag for sure.
I will say, I know some people who they do not want to lift a finger. They want the guy to plan every single date. They want the guy to insist on paying for every single thing until they are in a serious and committed relationship. And listen, to those people, like, power to you. Do what feels right for you. But I feel like because of that, people end up writing off so many people who could have made great partners who don't necessarily know. Like, that person might not know, oh, Carly wants me to do all these things. They might think, oh, like, maybe Carly wants to get involved in the planning.
Yeah.
And so I think if that's something that you want, you have to articulate that.
Yeah, don't write someone off, though, just
Yeah.
because they didn't, give you every single detail for every single date.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so avoid discussing serious topics. I hate this
No.
one.
No, and it's not on this list, but I saw on a bunch of other lists, it was like, don't talk about exes also.
LOL,
which I think,
that's
yeah.
what we did.
My favorite thing to talk about when going on dates was actually dating.
Same, and past relationships, and what's been like working, and like what are they looking for, and
Yeah.
I have those serious conversations. I think that makes a really good date, to be honest. I love the serious
You
combos.
learn so much about somebody. And it's also, you don't have to pretend that the two of you aren't actively single and dating and trying to meet somebody.
or
like,
have a past.
yeah, it's a huge part of your life when you're single is dating and looking for a partner. And so it's fun to have those conversations and to talk about date fails and things that really didn't work out and what you are looking for. You learn so much about somebody.
Yeah. And I know we're going to talk about, I'll wait, because we're going to talk about what we did in rule breaking with Jason and Jake.
Yeah. Okay, the last one on this list is men and women can't be friends.
I disagree with that. Men and women can definitely be friends. I don't think exes need to be friends. I don't think they need to have communication or chat. I mean, what's the point?
Yeah.
But I think, of course, men and women can be friends.
I think men and women can be friends if they're both committed to somebody else, or at least one of them is, I feel like I've seen so many situations where somebody always develops feelings for somebody else.
Really?
Yes.
I haven't seen that.
I feel like I could do a whole episode on this of like why men and women actually like most of the time can't be friends.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I completely disagree. I think they can 100% be friends. Maybe just because I've had a lot of guy friends in the past. But I guess now that I'm engaged, I wouldn't say I have many friends that aren't both of our friends.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or in other relationships.
Exactly.
Like I don't have any single really
If it
guy
would
friends that
like
I'm
if
so
you were
close
just like
with.
getting dinner every other week with like a single guy friend of yours, like that might be weird.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it would be. I haven't like done it, so I don't know. Maybe.
Complicated.
Okay.
So those were like the historical old-fashioned dating rules. And then I think we also wanted to touch on some rules that like we see on social media.
Yeah.
That we feel like a lot of people, again, feel like they have to follow that we completely disagree with. And actually, these are all rules that we broke as well in our relationships with Jason and Jake. So should we just talk about like what the ones we broke and kind of add those in?
Yeah. Okay. So the rules that I broke when starting to date Jason is right after we spoke on the dating app, we had a couple of exchanges. Right away, I took it over to Instagram and I friended him on Instagram. So like I wanted to see our mutual friends. And then 10 minutes later, like after talking a little over DM, which he was probably like, why is she now like DMing me instead of asking for my number, or like, why aren't we texting? Because he's so not a social media guy. I told him that I wanted to FaceTime him that night. And he was like, oh, like I've never.
I can like hear his response.
Yeah.
Like,
he's
see
like,
his reaction.
Okay.
Like,
I've never FaceTimed anyone before, but you seem worth it. I still have those DMs. And obviously it's a little different because this was over COVID, where I do feel like maybe it was a little more normalized to FaceTime someone before going on a date. But I was doing it far before COVID started. So I would always do that. After like talking on a dating app, I would be like, let's FaceTime. Because why not? So broke that rule. Do you want to go like back and forth?
No, keep going.
Oh, keep going? Okay. On the first date, we talked about, or I started the conversation of what I was looking for, and that I wasn't just trying to date. I was dating with intent. And honestly, I wanted him to know that up front, because if he was just trying to date around and, you know, not really looking for a relationship, that's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
So made that very clear. Also talked about past relationships on the first date. I asked so many questions where he was probably like,
why am I being interrogated?
Literally, why
by
am I
this
being
girl that I just met?
interviewed? But at the end, he told me that no one else has ever done that, and like asked about his past or asked about his current dating life, and he thought it was really cool. And it was a really interesting conversation. He's like, no one's been this open about it.
It also shows that you're curious.
Yeah.
It shows that you want to get to know him. And I'm sure that that stood out in a really positive way.
Yeah. I think he had never been on a date with someone that not come on so strong, but was forward
Or just yourself. Like,
just
you
myself,
weren't filtered. You weren't trying to fit this perfect mold of what somebody should look like on a first date. You were sitting across the table from someone, talking to them as if they were your best friend.
100%. I honestly think that's what got him.
I think that's the way to date.
Mhm.
But in person, over text, you have to just treat this person like they're a normal friend of yours.
Yeah.
And be yourself.
Yeah. Because let's be clear, he was dating around, and I don't know if he was, ready to be in a relationship. He had literally stayed in a hotel with a different girl a week prior. So
And then he met Carly.
then he met me. And
Along came Carly.
Yeah. Another one is I sent a thank you text after the date when I got home, after already thanking him on the date. So I thanked him on the date, and then after I got home, and again, we were living in kind of different places and we met in the middle, but I had like a 45-minute ride home. So I texted him. He told me like, hey, text me when you get home. Yeah. Texted him when I got home. And I said, thank you so much again, whatever. And I see nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
We had a date 2 nights in a row, which I feel like a lot of people would be like, no, that's too much, and like give it time. And I initiated the second date. So
High five.
There's that. I just broke
Woo!
like 30 rules all in one.
And here you are with
And here I
a giant
am.
ring on your finger.
Yes, exactly.
In wedding planning hell.
Yep. All right. What are some things you and Jake broke? Or
So
you?
yeah, a bunch of similar ones that you also mentioned. So we talked about what we were looking for on our first date. We talked about past relationships and dating. I was also in a unique situation where my dating life was very public.
Yeah.
And there was a podcast about it. I actually think one really interesting thing, kind of an aside, but on seeing other people, this was about like maybe 3 or 4 weeks into us dating, an episode came out that I had recorded probably like a month
Yeah.
before we met, or like the month that we met. And my co-host at the time literally said, it was an episode about breakups. And my co-host said verbatim, like, if you're trying to date Ilana right now, don't bother because she's not over her ex.
Oh.
And Jake had to listen to that and be like,
Did he listen to it though?
Yeah. He listened to every single episode from the time of our first date.
Oh my God, that's so nice of him.
Yeah. But like that was crazy for just having that experience of him hearing my dating stories and hearing what other people thought about me and my readiness for a relationship, despite me really wanting to find my person. So interesting.
Wait, sorry, quick note, just because it's really funny. Last night, Ilana was on FaceTime with Jake, and she was talking about her episodes and whatever, and she was like, I think we were talking about Life in Progress episodes, and she was like, have you listened to more than 5 episodes or something along those lines? And Alana's like, we've literally had 16 out. And he was like, Ilana, I hear your voice every day.
He's like, I hear half of your interviews. Like, I know what you talk about. You tell me about it. I'm like, so?
Yeah, well, he's definitely listened to more than Jason.
He
but
used to listen to every single episode.
that's so sweet.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell
But
Jason
he doesn't
that he needs to
anymore,
step it up.
clearly.
Yeah.
So
It's just funny. He's like, I hear your voice all the time. It's like, how much more can I listen to it?
like, no, you need to be hearing my voice 24 hours a day.
Okay, sorry, go on.
So this was a big one. The day of our first date, what?
Sorry, you have one on there. I'm looking at the list
Yeah.
that I forgot. So when you
Okay,
say
well,
it,
you can jump in and
I'll
say,
jump in. Yeah,
that's me too.
that's such a good one.
Cool. Okay. I think I know what you're talking about. Is
Yeah.
it the next one?
Yeah.
Okay. But the day of our first date, there's people on TikTok and social media, and there's a whole concept around like, if they don't text you by like 11 a.m. or noon, the day of the date to confirm, then you're busy. You've made other plans. Like, you don't have time to wait around for them. Like, they're busy too. We're all fucking busy. It's okay if they don't text you the moment they wake up saying that they can't wait to see you that night. They probably have 1,000 other things on their mind that they are thinking about. Their work day, maybe they have a presentation, maybe they're having a one-on-one with their boss and they're afraid they're getting fired. Literally, who knows? So if they don't text you to confirm within the first half of the day, that doesn't mean that they don't care. That doesn't mean they're not intentional. That doesn't mean they're a dick. It just means they're busy. The date's on the calendar.
Yep.
They're planning on going, and eventually you guys will communicate about it.
Yep.
So 5 p.m. came along, and I hadn't heard from Jake. And I had texted some of my friends being like, oh, I'm just going to like text him. And they were like, oh, the horror. Don't you dare text him. How could you even think about that? How could you even consider the fact that this date would possibly be happening at this point? You are going to be stood up, and it is so embarrassing for you that you think you're going on this date.
Alana just blew out my eardrums.
Sorry. And I was just like, no, like maybe he's busy.
Yeah.
And so I texted him. I'm like, hey, like, looking forward to tonight. Like, are we still on for 7 or whatever? And he was like, I was just about to text you. Like, sorry, crazy day at work. Yeah, I can't wait.
Great.
Like, okay.
Like, cool. And
Yeah.
did that turn him off? Or do you
No.
have a ring on your finger?
I have a ring on my finger. It's really shiny. Okay, so like, it doesn't matter who confirms the date. It doesn't matter what time the date's confirmed. Like, just fucking text them.
Yeah,
if
who
you're
cares?
worried about it.
Why do you want to wait around? Like,
No. Also, if it's causing you anxiety waiting, like, you have the ability to pick up your phone and send the text and get the answer
what
that
a
you're looking for.
concept.
It's crazy.
It's insane.
It's crazy that we're so spooked out of this because we're so afraid. It's been so drilled into our brains that like, if you send a text, if you make the move, if you ask for what you want, you're going to turn somebody off.
Yeah.
If you do, that's not your person.
Nope.
Okay. I said I love you first.
Me too.
High five. Yeah.
That was terrible. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said I love you first.
Same. And everyone says, don't do it. Wait for them to say it. But like,
Yeah.
why?
I feel like if you love somebody, you should let them know.
100%.
I would want to know if somebody loved me.
Same.
Yeah.
And I knew he did. That's like another
Yeah.
thing. I knew he loved me. I didn't know when he was going to say it or how, but I also know that it's easier for me to express my emotions than him to express his.
Same.
And I was like, fuck it. And obviously instantly he was like, he said it back and he was like, I've been wanting to say it. I just, didn't know how and when. And it's like, okay, well, if you're feeling something, just do it. Who cares?
I was like going to jump out of my skin if I didn't say
Same.
it.
And I kept almost saying it. Like on the phone, I'd hang up and almost be like, I love you. Like almost kept saying it. And I'm like, what am I doing? I didn't wait for some like crazy moment. Like we were really just in bed one night and I'm just like, I love you.
I was like, I know we haven't said it, but I love you, right? And he was like, I love you too.
Yeah, I'm like, there's it. Like, that's it.
And then I don't know if it was like in the morning or at night, but the next, whatever, when I like walked home and he like walked me a bit and I think he like went to get coffee or breakfast or something. And as we like kissed goodbye and as I started to walk away, he turned around and he was like, love you. And I was like, eek.
Yeah, like, I don't know. After we said it, I think it like took some time to like say it again.
Yeah.
Also, are your hands not getting like my hands are hurting from these microphones?
Real? Oh, it's heavy. It's really heavy.
It's not heavy. It's these things that my thumb keeps going into.
Oh, weird. I don't feel that at all.
Oh, okay. I'm happy for you. Sorry, keep going.
So, say I love you if you love someone.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, and then just a few others. Like, I had him come over for our second date. Again, it was COVID. We could only eat outside. It was 20 degrees, and we were so cold in our first date. I was just like, and he had roommates, and mine weren't around, so I was like, oh yeah, come over. And we just ordered in and made drinks and had a really great second date. But I know there's a lot of stigma around like having somebody over on an early date and what that means. And I think it means whatever you want it to mean. And there's so much more to it than that. So I wouldn't worry about that if you feel comfortable doing it with the person. We also had a lot of mutual friends. I felt very like safe with him. I wasn't worried.
Yeah.
And then, like all this shit about like, don't send a thank you text or like, don't double text, don't text them first. Like,
I know you've posted this before.
Thank somebody. If somebody just spent like a lot of money on a night with you, like you should totally thank them.
And what, they're gonna be turned off by you saying thank you one more time?
No, I know a lot of guys who are turned off if the girl doesn't then send a thank you text after.
I don't know where that one came from. Like I don't understand it. Because why? What harm are you doing by having manners?
Yeah. Literally, it's manners.
Yeah.
It's manners.
It's nice. It's being a nice person, actually.
Yeah. And if they want to continue the conversation, they can. If they aren't interested and don't want to, then they won't.
Yeah. And sending a thank you text doesn't mean you're trying to have this whole other conversation. No. And there's not this whole meaning behind it of, oh, I just want to see how he responds. It's just being a nice person.
Yeah. I would send thank you texts to people that I knew I didn't want to see again, too. Because that's how I was raised. Yeah. And that's the type of person I am. Like, 100%. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I also have a really cool story about kind of rule breaking. And I know we started this with like historical old fashioned dating rules, but my grandma actually did a really ballsy thing. My grandpa, he took her out on a date and he drove her home, and then days went by and she didn't hear from him. She waited by the phone. He never called. Murray never called Rose.
Murray.
She picked up the phone and she called him and said she was sure that she lost her earrings in his car. And he said, oh, like, I'll go check. I don't think I see them. And she's like, no, I'd feel more comfortable if I checked. And so he drove over.
Oh, my God.
And she got to see him again because of that.
So it was all play.
Now I'm here.
And now here you are.
Yeah. But she completely bullshitted. She had her earrings.
Yeah, she had her earrings. Wow. All right, good for her.
Yeah.
See, guys, just make the call.
Yeah, make the call.
Send the text.
Send the text. Do what you want.
Yep.
Would you rather?
Would you rather? All right. First, would you rather? Would you rather get a paper cut every time you turn a page, or bite your tongue every time you eat? Oh, this is so easy for me.
Paper cut?
100%.
I would just stop touching paper, I think.
100% would rather get
eat.
There's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than getting a cut in your mouth and not being able to like talk or eat.
Yeah. And then you just like hyper focus on it,
and then it just hurts
and
all day, every day.
Always touching it, and then like your jaw hurts.
You can't do anything.
It's horrible.
Yeah,
it's horrible, horrible. Would you rather be gassy on a first date or on your wedding night?
My wedding night, honestly, because there's so many people around. I mean, gassy in what way? Like, am I really bloated or am I just farting? Because if I'm just farting, like, sure, like no one's gonna know it's me. My fiance may, but he's so used to that.
But the whole like wedding is gonna smell.
It's like, I mean, how bad can it smell? Oh, I guess pretty bad. Depending on what I eat. But if you're gassy on the first date, like, there's just you two. Like, you can't really, like, do much about it. If it's at your wedding night, like, whatever. There's so many people.
Here's the thing. If I was gassy on a first date and the guy wanted to see me again, that'd be so reassuring. And I'd be like, great. Like, I'm in the clear. And then I don't care what happens on my wedding night. But if I'd rather not be gassy on a first date so I can feel comfortable and have a normal first date. And then, like, I'm not embarrassed in front of Jake if it's my wedding night. Like, I have a lot of tummy issues, but I don't want to, like, feel self-conscious of, like, I want to feel really, like, pretty and great on my wedding night. But wedding night.
I don't think I'd give a shit. Like, no one's gonna
I probably will be gassy on my wedding night.
Yeah, honestly, I probably will be. I'm probably so stressed and whatever.
Yeah. All right.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Alrighty.
This has been fun.
This has been fun. Guys, I know we said on our last podcast, but please give us some feedback. Let us know what you like, what you don't like.
That'd
you
be
know
nice.
where to be nice. You know where to find us at It's Life in Progress on TikTok and Instagram. And please leave us a nice review on Apple and rate us on Spotify. And send us an email, carlyandilana@gmail.com. And that's it.
That was the best outro you've ever done.
I know, and I was thinking
I'm
it
so
as I was
proud of
saying
you.
it.
A butterfly.
Staring
You
at
just went
me.
from a caterpillar to a butterfly, and you spread your wings and flew away. Oh my God. Outro queen, Carly Silverman.
And with that,
Bye.
I was gonna mic drop, but I didn't want to like hurt anything.